Hey, Matcha. What's the tea? A TikTok house gets exposed for harming a visitor and their contracts get revealed. On May 2nd, a viral TikTok from Razia Johnson revealed her terrible experience with a TikTok content house. She called out one former member, Bria, by mentioning this popular TikTok video Bria made.
Okay, so we all know that video that's going viral of that girl who's like, "Hey yo, that person who sent you this wants you to know."
For context, this is the TikTok of Bria that was being referenced.
Hey yo, the person that sent you this wants you to know.
We need to get the gang together for a little road trip, you heard me.
No cap, facts, no pencil. Copy, no translate.
Razia said she was at the house when Bria was present and shared how she could have caught an infectious disease.
Well, I just want you to know that when I had stayed with my boyfriend at the time, I got bit by rats from their place and had to go home early to Seattle because I was gonna get rat bite fever.
For context, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention describes rat bite fever as an infectious disease caused by two different bacteria. If not treated, a rat bite fever can be a serious or even fatal disease. Razia showed video footage she took while at the house.
And in case you guys don't believe me, this is literally a video I took from their house. It was literally so disgusting. This is their bottles of Ace that they always do videos next to. I tried to post like a longer video explaining better, but it's under review because they thought that I was like trying to copyright their videos.
Razia also shared photos of the alleged rat bites and spoke about their sleeping conditions.
But yeah, and this is just a couple of the bites that I had on my leg from staying there. They had us staying on a popped air mattress. It was absolutely terrible.
So, which TikTok content house had these terrible living conditions? Not Sway House, not Hype House, but a house called Drip Crib. Razia continued to make videos about the situation. She alleged Drip Crib made people sign NDAs and got people banned from TikTok. Razia shared a comment from Samuel Adrian, who was temporarily banned on TikTok allegedly because of Drip Crib.
No, for real, like that part, like get his account unbanned, because the amount of times I've heard them about getting people's accounts banned and like having girls sign stacks of NDAs and like all this like it's not even new to them. Like they did this 100% on purpose.
Razia explained why she and her former boyfriend were at Drip Crib.
Okay, so basically my ex, we were dating at the time, and he was trying to be like a whole social media influencer. And so Drip Crib, their house manager, like reached out to him and they were like, "Hey, we want to recruit you to Drip Crib, like we'll fly you out." And he was like, "Bet, you're gonna fly me out? Let's like do it. This is the opportunity of a lifetime."
When someone commented about the Drip Crib potentially suing Razia, she said, "I already spoke to a legal advisor before posting, so I know what I can and can't say. I'm just telling my experience." The next day, on May 3rd, Bria posted a few videos addressing Razia's claims.
That girl's video, I have no problem with that video at all. Let me explain my side. So we were all living at this content house called Drip Crib. I was going through a hard time in my life, and that's kind of where I was living. I was in the process of trying to find my own place. There was a bunch of shit going on, but if you guys know anything about LA, you know that it's not cheap to live there. It's not like easy to find a place. It's really difficult. But throughout the time that the girl and her boyfriend were there, I really did try to talk to them, but they were also never there. I tried to make them feel welcome. I get why they didn't want to be there. The house was a mess. I had my own issues that was going on at Drip at the time, so I wasn't really paying attention to what was going on with their issues.
Bria addressed Razia, asking Drip and Bria to get Samuel's TikTok unbanned.
I was even told that I would get my account banned, my videos deleted, taken down from TikTok, whatever. That was after she left. I had no part in taking that man's account down, nor do I have the power to do that. So to go and say that it was 100% us, I don't even live at Drip anymore. I don't even think Drip is a thing. I haven't lived at Drip since the beginning of December, end of November. And throughout all that, again, I was dealing with my own shit. I was never at the house. And if I was, there was a whole situation with my room that was super shady towards me. My best friend was letting me stay in his room while he was out of town because he was going out of town a lot while he was there. Me and two of my best friends, I'm not saying their name, but we tried to stay as far away from Drip as we could. We don't even associate with it, so.
Bria also addressed the NDAs at the Drip Crib.
And then for the whole girls would sign hella NDAs and shit like that. I'm sorry, but before she had moved in, we had a situation where a girl had lied about her age. Yeah, because bitches in LA be doing that. No cap. Everybody in the house was dudes. I was the only girl in the house. No cap. One of my friends who was a girl had just moved out right before she moved in. After the situation about the girl lying about her age, we were like, alright, so NDAs, yeah, bitches gotta start signing those, because ain't nobody about to catch a case. We would have everybody sign an NDA, though. ID check, you have to sign it. Any content house has those. I mean, at least any responsible content house has an NDA. But yeah, that's the only part I can say. Don't try to make it seem like I'm a bad person. I didn't do shit that drip.
People had a lot to say about Bria and the cleanliness of Drip Crib. Girl, we all got issues, and never once have I had rats in my house. I was going through a hard time in my life, so I let rats in to comfort me and didn't clean. She said you live with rats. Can you do a house tour and name them? Explain your dirtiness. Then Razia explained the story in more detail. Razia said the reason she was at the content house was because her now ex-boyfriend wanted to be an influencer and was offered a contract from Drip Crib. Her ex-boyfriend wanted Razia and their son to go along with them because they would make videos together. So, Razia and Drip Crib's house manager, DY, offered to pay for their flights, but this situation didn't go well.
So we go to buy the tickets and the tickets aren't going. Like, the code that he gave us to give to the airlines is not retrieving. They're like, we don't even have this in our system. So my boyfriend is getting so mad, so upset. So finally, like, I'll buy it. I spend like around $2,000 to get these last minute tickets round trip. So I get scammed. Never got reimbursed.
Razia said they stayed at her ex-boyfriend's sister's place while visiting LA for 1 week. However, Razia said Drip Crib was unprofessional because she could not reach DY by phone until the last day. On the last day, Razia, her ex-boyfriend, and their son were invited to the content house to go over the contract. DY mentioned there would be influencers there, but said it wasn't a big get-together and it would be safe for their son to attend. Razia said this was not the case at all.
So we bring our son, and literally when we pull up, we see there's like so many cars, there's literally nowhere to park. We see there's security outside, and we see there's like a bunch of people trying to get in, and we're like, oh my god, this is a full-on party. And we get there, we go inside, and the house is literally like full of smoke. Girls got their chachas out, girls are trying to, like, you know, do their thing. It's a full-on LA party, and we're like, where's the back room? Because our son is not staying there. And DY's like, oh, I'm sorry, like, it's somebody's birthday, so like you can just like go to the back room, that's my room, and you can like put him down there. So sorry about this, won't happen again. And we're like, dude, you literally told us our son was safe. Like, this is not okay. That should have been our first warning, but my boyfriend was a narcissist, so we had to keep going.
Razia said DY put the blame on Bria and other Drip Crib members for letting the party get out of control. Razia clarified she was not solely calling out Bria.
By the way, I'm not just solely coming for Bria. My point is that all of these people who were in this house were just, you know, I want to make that clear.
Razia said they stayed in the back room and tried to get their son to sleep, but it was too loud. So they eventually left at 2 a.m. when they were able to get in contact with her ex-boyfriend's sister. Razia said they ended up flying back home. But then, Razia said DY apologized and asked them to come back another time and offered to pay for their flights again. Razia said DY, or her ex-boyfriend, convinced her that night was just a fluke, so they planned another trip to the Drip Crib. Razia said she didn't remember what the house looked like the first time she visited because it was full of smoke from the party and she was too focused on keeping her son safe. So, they returned to the Drip Crib at a later date. Razia said the tickets were not paid for again, so this time they drove over. When they arrived this time, Razia said they met Bria and many other Drip Crib members. She said Bria was fine, but the guys didn't make a good first impression.
And they weren't really nice to us.
During their stay at the Drip Crib, DY told them to stay in Bria's room, but she allegedly wasn't happy about it. So instead, they stayed in the beauty room on a popped air mattress.
And so we literally had to stay in their beauty room on a air mattress that kept deflating because it was popped. Like, every hour it would literally deflate. We had to keep putting it up, but we literally still had not seen the rest of this house. And the beauty room looked nice because they have barbers and stuff that go in and out of it, so we didn't know it was dirty.
Razia spoke about the contract and shared the shocking details.
The contract was literally like a K-pop slave contract is the best I can like compare it to. Love K-pop, but yeah, we all know those contracts are messed up. And it was literally like you had to pay $3,000 a month for rent, and then if you didn't make $3,000 from like all of your videos and stuff, then they would make you use like paychecks and outer stuff to make the $3,000, or they put it on your tab and it would keep adding up and adding up and adding up. And they said in return they give you sponsorships, they give you everything, but all of your content, your past, your present, your future is all property of Drip Crib. So it was a huge scam.
She said DY told her Bria was the house manager of Drip Crib and said Razia could be the second house manager if her ex-boyfriend joins. Razia said her ex-boyfriend wasn't sure about signing the contract, so they waited to see how they felt about it. During that time, they took a look around the house and discovered the horrifying living conditions.
And we look around the house and we're like, oh my god, like, it is dirty. Like, we start realizing it is so dirty. Floors are stained, everything's dirty, they don't clean, oven's nasty, like, it looks like horrible. There's rat droppings everywhere, and we start freaking the frick out, and we're like, we need to get an Airbnb, we need to get something.
Razia said they weren't able to find a place to stay because Airbnbs don't accept people under 21 years old for last-minute rentals. So instead, they put their son with a trusted babysitter so he didn't have to sleep over in the dirty house. Razia said her ex-boyfriend didn't support the decision.
And then my ex was trying to convince me that I was literally ruining like our whole family's thing, and like it was a really bad abusive situation, so whatever. So I am convinced to stay there. Gaslighted, I should say.
Razia said she finally snapped when the rat bites happened.
So there was like 2 more days where I was forced to have to stay there until I literally got bit, and I was like, I'm going home. F your dream, like, I'm done.
Razia said when they were getting ready to leave, DY kept asking her ex-boyfriend about the contract.
So yeah, this guy really wanted my ex to sign the contract. So he was like not trying to let us like leave and not come back. So we were just like, yeah, we'll come back. And we got the heck out, went home, had to get shots, had to go see my doctor, had to do everything.
Razia also shared more alleged receipts of the Drip Crib's living conditions.
And finally, I just want to put some more receipts that I am allowed to post for you guys before I go, since you guys sat through this whole thing. This is the outside that the neighbors are complaining about. Our garage is broken, by the way, and this is black stuff seeping out of someone's room. And that's me when I first got there, for people who somehow don't believe that we were actually there. But yeah, that's basically just my side. That's my opinion, truth.
Razia also addressed Bria's TikTok videos. She said she still felt Bria didn't make an effort to be friendly.
That's the other thing. She said, like, we didn't really get to hang out with them, and I tried to. No, I really don't feel like that was the case, because they would just leave and like wouldn't tell us what they were doing. It was clear we weren't wanted. Like,
Razia said the reason she and her ex-boyfriend were out of the house a lot was because no one was helping them, so they did things on their own. Razia said another reason they were out a lot was because Bria would allegedly blast her music really loud, so they had to take their son out of the house. Razia also addressed Bria's explanation about the NDAs.
And she brought up that they had it to protect the guys because a girl lied about their age, so their solution was NDAs, and every party does that. That is not why every party does NDAs and like that. They do that for if girls have, you know what, with rappers and stuff, and they don't want like the Selena Powells to go out, but not for underage girls. You start checking IDs and getting better security that can scan the IDs and stuff. You don't do that. Underage girls, by the way, if you sign an NDA, I'm glad she mentioned it because I wanted to say this. If you sign an NDA, it is not valid because you are not 18, your parent had to sign it. It is a way for them to silence you, and that is literally in the state of California. That is the problem with that. There were little stacks in our room of signed NDAs, and they would come into our room at night and be like, hey, I need one of these NDAs for this girl. You know why?
Razia also brought up the numerous news articles about the Drip Crib being a nuisance to their neighbors,
as well as Business Insider and like a couple other things. I think New York Post and everything that DY mentions in his bio, and they're all things talking about how they don't pay their rent. They're like so down in the hole in rent, and they're scamming people. And they're throwing COVID parties.
For context, Drip Crib was seen on Spectrum News 1, where their neighbors shared the disturbing details. Jeff Oken, who lives directly next door, said he feels frustrated and powerless. Jeff reported seeing large gatherings, loud pool parties, non-permitted film shoots, and cars constantly speeding in the neighborhood. Jeff also shared his home security footage, which showed their parties spilling into the street where the influencers are seen drinking, getting intimate, and even defecating on the street. Jeff also said there's already been a weapon pulled and brawls on the street, but the police refuse to step in unless it's a so-called Part 1 crime. Jeff shared one of the longest parties they had.
And then they had a party literally for 9 consecutive nights that went from 10:30 to literally 7:38 in the morning.
Marcia Scully, a neighbor that has lived in the area for 50 years, showed the littered garbage the Drip Crib leaves on the streets every morning. She said she finds used condoms on the street. Marcia said she feels like a prisoner in her own home. Furthermore, according to Business Insider, the landlord of Drip Crib's house said they were suing them after months of conflict about unpaid rent, pandemic partying, and TV show production. Back to Razia. Razia also mentioned how some Drip Crib members thought they were the victims in their neighborhood.
They were like, yeah, like they literally reported our party and got our water turned off. We found out later from a Business Insider article that it's because they actually weren't paying their rent and their landlord turned it off. But yeah, they were gonna try to use like Black Lives Matter to their advantage and get protesters to help because they thought that they were literally like hate criming this Drip Crib house. When that wasn't the case, it was dirty, they were loud, they were rude to their neighbors, like it was horrible. I would be mad as a neighbor too.
Then Razia shared a common comment in a video. When people say, just because I got bit by rats and witnessed underage girls signing NDAs and stuff, doesn't mean I should be upset or speak out. In the caption of the video, Razia wrote, for real, some of y'all something else. Also, Ibin spoke about this on my old Twitter for people trying to say I did it for clout. Then, the owner of Drip Crib, Devion Young, responded to Razia's video bringing up an NDA, her ex-boyfriend, and accused her of holding her child hostage. Razia addressed the claims.
What a batch liar.
First off, I want to say, like, I did not sign any NDA. I literally told Keanu, who cares? I literally told that if I had to sign an NDA, I would literally not go. So I don't know what you're talking about, and if you try to forge my signature, try it because my state already has it on record, so don't even try that. Also, I'd like to say I don't even understand why you're doing this right now because Bria and some of your ex-members of the house and verified creators and so many people confirmed it. Like, what are you doing?
Bro.
And I came with receipts that Keanu filmed. As for you using my baby dad, I have full custody. I live with her. So I don't understand what you're talking about, and he literally kidnapped my son yesterday. So what are you talking about?
And has abused her and her child.
That's from him. I have no eyebrow over there.
That's why you look crazy, because you are crazy and you're nothing but a clout chaser.
Listen, I don't like influencers. Like, I don't like the whole thing because this is what you guys do. I'm not an influencer. I don't do the crap you do. I'm not a liar. Don't call me crazy. Don't gaslight me. Don't bring up my abusive ex, because you want to know what I'm dealing with my abusive ex? Or something of the sort had literally been digging their nails in my child or like scratching them. So I freaked out. My roommate freaked out. I literally have cops coming right now because my kid has scratches on him from acrylic nails and dark marks yesterday. And I just got these done. You guys saw that crap.
Just got him done.
It was from when he stayed with his dad. So please don't bring my son into this.
And he just kidnapped your son yesterday.
He just kidnapped my son. How are you talking about I hold him hostage?
You have full
My
custody.
son's good. Hi, baby. Yeah. Please don't ever bring up my kid. You're a liar. Liar.
Shortly after, Devion deleted his video. Razia also said Drip Crib and Devion blocked her on TikTok. Overall, this is a very messy situation. Rat infestations are important to get rid of because rodents can carry viruses and they cause house damage because they can chew through plastic pipes, wooden beams, joists, and soft concrete. Furthermore, it's important to look over contracts and NDAs to understand the full depths of what you're getting yourself into. And if you're underage, it's likely the NDAs are not protecting you. What did you think about Razia's side of the story? Were you shocked to hear about the rats? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below.